Welcome back to the Adamsville playing field where we have the finals of the VPL Dream 11 T10 competition. It is the LSH HIKERS. They will take the first stand at the wicket. They will be playing the Serpent Breakers, eagerly anticipating a hot day because it is steamy hot. It's somewhat over 35 degrees, it feels like to me. Boy, it's scorching hot out there, but I'm sitting in the capacity of some AC, and we still have Romel, we still have Alonso with us. Gents, what do you take?
Well, you might be correct in saying that it feels like 35, but it wouldn't be 35. It wouldn't be that hot in our part of the world, but it's a warm day, a lovely day for cricket, and we are eagerly anticipating this final.
Well, a lot is going to depend on how the power play goes, because I think that sets the tone, and that so the Hikers, of course, would be looking to get off to a flyer. Knowing Salvan Brown, he's going to try his very best. He's not going to waste too much time. As well, the Serpent Breakers would, of course, be looking to restrict them for as much as possible. I think they bowled a lot better. Well, Dillon Johnson specifically bowled a lot better to Salvan in the last game they played against each other. He pitched the ball up. He had looked for movement. He didn't try to bowl short, because every time he bowled short to Salvan got the better of him. And I think they have learned from their previous games. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. They have to be disciplined. They have to be consistent. Now is the finals. They have played quite a number of games, so they're not stale by any stretch of the imagination. So everybody should be in tip-top form, raring to go, looking to dive, looking to run quickly. So beautiful game ahead.
Well, raring to go is umpire Byam and umpire Butler. They are the standing umpires in this game. Salvan Brown and Desmond Maloney, the opening pair that we somewhat accustomed to for the LSH HIKERS, Alanson.
Yes, this is a positive move by the captain. I think it really just shows that the fact that he's in form, as opposed to last time around when he was lacking a bit of confidence and he pushed himself down the order. But he's opening. He's now in the top 10 for run scorers after having a very slow start. And they would want to get their team off to an exemplary start here, because we know that if they have a good start, then they would be able to build on that later. But if they lose early wickets, and that is what the Serpent Breakers will want to happen, then they will be under severe pressure.
Well, there's a short third man, there's a point, there's a cover point, sort of extra cover, long on, we're seeing mid-off. Right, mid-off, long on, mid-wicket, short fine and a deep square. And they are the fielders that we have. And guys, the VPL has really reached to the curtains now. Where we pull the curtains down, it was full of excitement, some real development. We saw some emerging players who have really put their hands up when we didn't expect. The overseas players, they came to the party at some crucial time for their teams. Well, we're about to get the first ball on its way as umpire Byam. Yes, as umpire Byam will signal our get-go. We're expecting some quality drone shots from the ITFX camera crew. And here we go. So, dot ball to start, Alanson.
Yes, that one was pitching around middle and leg stump and paid calmly to the man at short mid wicket there, O'Neill Thomas. No chance of a run, especially to Thomas, one of the quicker fieldsmen. And that's a good start there by Dillon Johnson. Good line, good length so far.
Another dot ball, Romel. Do you see that creeping of pressure could come in the first over?
Not yet, really, but Dillon Johnson has to curb his enthusiasm, and normally he likes to test whoever batsman he's bowling into with a short delivery, but he really has to curb he has done so well so far. He really has to curb his enthusiasm, keep the ball up. He did that the last game against the HIKERS and got good success for it.
It's coming around now. We get this run straight out to the man at deep square. And they are off with the run chase, one without loss. And Salvan also, he's off the mark. Brings Malone into strike.
Yes, the field is an interesting one. You have the deep square out and the man at the long on position, which means that he wants to have the option of going short if needed. And see, he's asking Pope at deep square leg to come a little bit further behind square. So just a slight adjustment to the field. One more fielder coming on to the onside, so it's now a 5-4 field with 5 on the on, 4 on the off. And so he's looking to bowl as straight as possible, not wanting to give Maloney any width.
Well, it's a dead ball. And Romel, do you see the little bit of what we'll call butterfly in the stomach in the finals here? Good running.
Well, I read an article some time ago where Tendulkar said that almost every time he went to bat, he felt a bit nervous. I think that's something that is natural for any batsman, regardless of the kind of cricket that you're playing. It's healthy. It's healthy nervousness, as I would say. It's not that you're going to freeze or you're going to get, too nervous that you can't play your shots. But the anticipation, the eagerness, the want of wanting to perform, that gets you going, so it's healthy.
Healthy is this one over the short mid wicket. Goes out to the boundary, and they clean up from the player that is running around from the deep square, and they come back for the second. That's Pope doing the cleaning up on that mid wicket boundary, and Salvan, he moves on to 3. The last of the HIKERS, there are 4. We're into over number. We're into the first over. So,
interestingly here, he has Pope a little bit straighter for Salvan, and he has him a little bit squarer for Maloney. That's on the square leg region, and so it must be some slight adjustment based on what they know about each player.
Well, that concludes the first over. Quiet overs to what we are accustomed to, and in no means no disrespect to the bowler, but a good over to start the Southern Breakers, restricting the Lassafre HIKERS to 4 without loss in the first over.
Yeah, that was really an excellent over for Dillon Johnson. I think he has learned over the last couple of games that they have played, because ordinarily you would see Dillon Johnson experimenting quite a bit at the very top. In this over, he kept it simple. He bowled within himself. He noticed what deliveries were being kept to singles, so he continued on that line, and that is how he ought to bowl going forward, because at the end of the day, this T10 kind of cricket demands for dot balls, because the batsmen are always going to come at you. They're the ones who are going to look to create chances. So it's incumbent on every bowler really to aim for those dot deliveries and allow the batsmen to make mistakes. It's not like Test cricket where you have to plan and bowl different lines to try to get the batsman out. This is 10-10 cricket, so bowl dot balls, concentrate, you pick a good line, concentrate on that line, and don't veer off too much from how you're bowling.
Well, that brings John into the attack. Asking for a deep square instead of that, for the square leg fielder to come more a square position. Well, that delivery, Salvan was halfway down the track, scampering through for 1, but Maloney assessing the bounce. That one struck him a bit high on the pad, and he wasn't up for 1.
Yes, looking at that last delivery, it's around where John would want to be. And you could see that there's still a little bit about a settling that the pair wants to do at the crease, because, there's a little bit of miscommunication there. as Brown ran down up on Maloney, but fortunately for the Hikers, they are both still at the wicket.
Down the ground, a bit of timing on that. Not a lot of timing as Maloney would have liked. There are 2 dot balls again to start over number 2, and they are still 4 without loss. The thing to note is that Salvan and Maloney, they can up the tempo, unlike teams like Botanical Gardens and the Grenadine Divers, where if they do not start on a high, they cannot carry through that momentum. Swing. And remember, we see that Maloney not getting the room that John is not providing the room for Maloney to hit that ball, and he now trying to manufacture room for himself. Just can't get over that ball.
Yeah, it's extremely disciplined bowling thus far by the 2 pacers. Dylan Johnson bowling excellent over, I thought. And John is following up here. They seem to be bowling within themselves, and that's important. You don't want to get too over exuberant, I should say. Keep it as simple as possible.
Wide down the leg side.
So he was experimenting with a short delivery there, looking to tuck the batsman up based on the line of the short one. Ended up being a wide down the leg side as he owed a little bit in his line. As Roman said, they are trying to be as disciplined as possible in the first few overs to heat the pressure on the batsmen, because they will know that they need to get a good score in order to defend it against the Saltpan breakers. And so if they can restrict them and subdue them in the first few overs, it will cause them to have to take a few risks later on.
A shot. Cut away, out to the point, boundary, 4 runs. A welcome National Lottery treat the boundary of the bat of Salvan.
Yeah, that's a good shot by Salvan, and he has to be the one, in my opinion, to take or to drive the Hikers home. He's going to be the aggressive one. Maloney has to take a bit of time, because he normally does that to get himself in, because he's that important of a player. Someone has to take the mantle to attack the bowling. Yes, 4 runs came off the over. Well, the run rate is 4, but you have to get a decent total, to defend. You have to give your bowlers something to work with. So Brown has to be that one to push it for the Hikers.
Oh, this one is struck in the helmet. Short delivery. Oh, and in doing so, Salvan's almost run out. A delivery that is struck into the helmet, signal leg by, and there's a bit of trick of the helmet there from.
Well, Kaznel, that was excellent feeling by Dylan Johnson on the 3rd man. You realized that Salvan was, and you could see the replay as it went cut off there for a bit. But as Salvan was struck on the helmet, he was concerned about his helmet and his own well-being during that delivery. And he was only ambling down to the striker's end, and Dylan Johnson down at 3rd man noticed that. And if he had been on target with his throw, he may have had Salvan back in the pavilion for his team, the Saltpan Breakers. Yeah. So he'll get some treatment, and maybe they will change that equipment, as that was quite a solid blow on the helmet.
I think the concussion protocol being used just for safety of the batsman, and they will make sure that he's well. Some treatment, and it's a quiet start. 11 without loss. Salvan Brown, he's on 7 from 7. Maloney, he's on 1 from 4. A current run rate of 6. As we see, this is the finals of the Dream 11 VPL cricket tournament here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we're really anticipating a good finals here. Hot sun, I must mention. And the wind is blowing, but boy, oh boy, the wind is in no comparison to the hot sun that we have here, Alanson.
Well, it's a welcome relief, after some of the days that we have had in the past of rain. So we are well pleased with this weather, and we are thankful. I'm sure all of us are thankful that we don't have to come again tomorrow for another game.
Well, we see that Brown has been given an all clear by the medical personnel. So he's ready for battle. He's that type of character. He's not easily fazed by adversities of this nature. So Maloney comes on strike. John still to continue. Just one more delivery remaining for the second over. And Romel, as a batsman yourself, how do you feel intimidated when you see deliveries like this being bowled? Down the left side.
Well, this is the finals, Cassie. So Salvan just got hit. Yes, ordinarily a batter, because he was hit pretty flush on the helmet. You know, ordinarily a batter would have gone out, but Salvan, recognizing his importance to the team, decided to stay on bat. But they need not to worry so much, because we have seen throughout the competition that one over really can make a difference. You just need an over with 25 runs.
Maloney cuts this one down to third man. Johnson cleans it up, so it's end of the over. End of the second over, it's 13 without loss. Maloney on 2 and Brown on 7. It's 6.5 runs per over. Boy, we are in here for some good treat of cricket, because the rationale of the game is that the LSH Hikers, they would not want to be in the second position again, Alance, as we have been always saying. And the Salpan Breakers, they want to have that power of rain in going into this 2